This is the Chapter 4 review with Mr. V. So the first one, first few we're going to solve by graphing. So I see that at number 1, both of the equations are already in y equals form, which is what I want. So I start at my b, which would be -4. So I'm going to start there. That's one of my points. Then it says negative, so this right here is -1/4. So I'm going to go down 1 and then to the right 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I can go up 1, I can reverse that. I can go up 1 and then to the left 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I draw my lines. So that's my first one. And then I want to plot my second point. So the starting point is at 2. And it's 5/4. So it's going to be up 5 and to the right 4. Now if I went up 5, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'd be up probably around here. And I go to the right 4. So I'm going to be right around there. And if I reverse that, that'd be -5/-4, which would be down 5, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and to the left 4, 1, 2, 3, and I'm at this point right here in the bottom left. So my graph, or so my line would look something like that. So to answer this question, you would get a point, and that point would be -1, -2, -3, -4, and then down 1, 2, 3. So -4, 3 for the first one. For the second one, both are in y equals, so I am going to plot the first one. First one starts at 3. And then it's 2/1, right? So it'd be up 2 to the right 1. And then so we can go down 2 to the left 1, down 2 to the left 1, all the way. And as you can see, there is a pattern. And so I did that for all of these. I can draw my line there. Second equation, I start at -3. And then I go, it's -4/1. So I can't go down 4. If I did, I'd be off the graph. So I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the right 1. So I'd be about there. Hold on a second. And then I can reverse that, so I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and be at that point. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'd be at that point. So my line would go like that. So where the 2 points cross would be at -1, 1. All right, for these next ones, these are not in y equals. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take the 7x over. So I'm going to do that to both of them. And I'm going to get -y is equal to -7x plus 3. And then I still have the -y over here, so I'm going to divide by -1. And I'm going to get y is equal to 7x minus 3. So that's my first equation. So I plot that point, or plot that line. So I'm going to start there. And then it's 7/1. So I'm going to go up 7. And then over 1. And that would be my line between those two. All right. For the second one, I would just minus x on each side. I get negative y is equal to negative x minus 3. And then I'm going to divide by negative 1, so y is equal to x plus 3. So my starting point is 0, 3. And then my slope is just 1 over 1. So if I go up 1 and then over 1, up 1, over 1, down 1, over 1, you can see that my line's going to be like that. Make sure you put your arrows in there because they do continue on. But the point that these two lines cross is going to be 1 and then up 4. So 1, 4. All right, 4 is a little bit tricky. What you want to do is you want to get y all by itself, like before. So I'm going to erase some of this so we have some room to work. All right, so for the first one here, I know that I'm going to have to minus 3x on each side. So I minus 3x on each side, and I get 4y is equal to negative 3x plus 4. I have to get y all by itself, so I'm going to divide by 4 on each side, and then I'm going to get y is equal to negative 3 over 4. You can leave that as a fraction. X plus, and then 4 over 4 is just 1. So now I have that in y equals form. I can plot that. So I'm going to start at 1 right there, and then it's down 3 over 4. So down 1, 2, 3, over to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I can reverse that, so up 3, 1, 2, 3, and then to the left 4. So those are my 3 points right there. Draw my line through them. And then with the other equation, I am going to do the same thing. I'm going to minus 3x on each side. So what I'll get is 4y is equal to negative 3x minus 16. I'm going to get y by itself, so I'm going to divide by 4. So I'm going to divide everything on the other side by 4. And I'm going to get y is equal to negative 3/4, and then minus 4. So I'm going to start at negative 4, and then my slope is negative 3 over 4. So I can't go down and go over to the right 4, so I have to reverse it. So I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and then to the left 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you notice, the slopes are the same, so these are going to run parallel. So this one is no solution. All right, so let's go on to, gotta add one here. This one is about solving by substituting. So what you want to do is you want to get an x or a y by itself. I see x is already alone by itself, so I'm going to minus the 8y on each side. And I'm going to get x equals negative 8y minus 15. Now with that, I'm going to take this right here and then put it in the x in the other equation. So what that looks like then is 7, and then I'm going to put this in for x, negative 8y minus 15. And then remember, I got to keep this, plus 8y equals negative 9. So I'm going to distribute these two. So negative 56y plus 7 times 15. I don't have my phone on me, so it's going to be 35. So it's going to be 105 plus 105 plus 8y equals negative 9. Then from there, I want to combine like terms, so I'm going to combine these. And negative 56y plus 8y would be negative 48y plus 105 equal to negative 9. I'm going to minus the 105 on each side. So I'm going to get negative 48y is equal to a negative 114. So now, let's take negative 114 and divide it by negative 48. And that's going to be 2.4. I do not have the answer key with me, so I'm just going to double check my work real quick. So that would be negative 56 plus 105 plus 8y. So I would have, so that'd be 48y plus 105 minus the 105 on each side. So yes, y would be equal to 2.4. So now we go back up and we have these two equations, right? And I can take the 2.4 and plug it into either one of these. I'm just going to plug it into the first one. So I have x plus 8 times 2.4 equals negative 15. And then that will be x plus 16.8 is equal to negative 15. So then I'll take negative 15 and I'll minus 16.8. So then x is equal to negative 31.8. So this one's final answer would be negative 31.8 and then 2.4. Now that one seems wrong right off the bat, so let me check my answer. And it looks like I am incorrect on this one. So I'm going to retry it. This one's a little bit more difficult. I must have screwed up somewhere. So I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to minus 8y. So x is equal to negative 8y minus 15. And then what I'm going to do from there is plug that in. So 7 times negative 8y minus 15 is equal to negative 9. So that would be again negative 56 y minus 105 is equal to negative 9. So negative 56y. I did my multiplication wrong. Would equal negative 114. So now I take 114, negative 114 divided by negative 56, and I'm still off a bit. Let's see here. This would not be negative 114, this would be 106. Make sure you're using your calculator. So then y would be equal to negative 2. All right, so if y is equal to negative 2, and I can keep track of that up here in my coordinates, all I would need to do is just plug it in for one of these two equations. So I'll just take the first one again, and I'll do x plus 8 over negative 2 is equal to negative 15. So x minus 16 is equal to negative 15. I'm going to add 16 on each side, so x is going to be equal to 1. And my final answer will be right up here. It'll be 1, negative 2. So don't make a mistake like me. Make sure you're multiplying right, as well as make sure you're going and checking your answers. First one did not look right. All right, the second one, I'm going to add 2y. So then I'll get x is equal to 2y minus 9. Then I'm going to take this and plug it in for x. So it'll be negative 5 times 2y minus 9 minus 7y is equal to 11. When I distribute that, that'll be negative 10y plus 45 minus 7y is equal to 11. Combine like terms, and I'll get negative 17y plus 45 equals 11. I'll minus 45 on each side, and negative 17y is equal to 11 minus 45 is equal to negative 34. Divide each side by negative 17, and I get y is equal to 2. So in this second equation, my y is going to be equal to 2. Remember, you keep your work. I'm just doing this because I'm running out of room. But now I can take this 2, if y equals 2, and I can plug it in for either one of these equations. I'm going to pick the second one because it looks easier. So x minus 2 times 2 is equal to negative 9. So x minus 4 equals negative 9. Going to add 4 on each side, so x will then equal negative 5. So my final answer is negative 5, 2. All right, so the substitution, I'll let you guys do the other two. But again, you know what y equals, so you take this and just plug it in for y. And then you already know what y equals here, so you'll take this and you plug it in for y up there. Just make sure you're double checking your answers. Then for this one, we're going to do some elimination. And for the next one, we are going to do some word problems. So I'll do 2 elimination, and I'll do one of the word problems, and we'll call it there, and it'll be about a 25-minute video. All right, so this one right here, the number 9, I can see that I'm going to need to multiply the top by a -2. So when I do that, I will get negative 12x and then minus 4y is equal to 12. So then for now, I'm done with this equation. I'm going to add this downwards. So 7x minus 12x, or 7x plus a negative 12x, is going to be negative 5x. These cancel, and then 8 plus 12 is equal to 20. So I'm going to divide each side by negative 5, and so x is going to be equal to negative 4. Now I can go back to these 2 equations in the original equations, this one or this one, and plug it in. I'll just plug it into the first one. So 6 times a negative 4 plus 2y is equal to negative 6. So it'll be negative 24 plus 2y is equal to negative 6. I'm going to add 24 to each side. So I'll have 2y is going to be equal to negative 18. Divide by 2 on each side, and y is going to be equal to negative 9. So my final answer will be negative 4, negative 9. Except for that I just realized that this is going to be a positive 18, so it's going to be a positive 9. So this will not be a negative 9 here. It's going to be positive 9. All right, we'll do number 10. All right, so for number 10, I see that you could either do it 2 ways. You could try to match up the x's, or you could try to match up the y's. So if I were to match up the x's, I would need to multiply this top one by negative 2, because that would give me negative 10x plus negative 6y is equal to negative 30. What you could also do is you could try to match up the y's. So I would know that I would need to multiply the top one by, again, negative 2, and then that would give me negative 10x plus negative 6y equals negative 30. So then I'm done with this equation right here, and I just add down, and what it looks like is that these are going to cross out, the 6y's are going to cross out, and what you're left with is 0 is equal to negative 10. Now that doesn't make sense, so the answer would be no solution. All right, try 11 and 12 on your own. 12 looks pretty easy, and then 11 is also the same. So then for these, 13 and 14, what you want to do is you just want to first set an x and a y, okay? And with an x and a y, you need to go into the word problem and then just figure out what the variables actually are. So there's senior citizen tickets, and then there's child tickets. Okay, and then from there you can just create 2 different equations. So the first one talks about the first day, right? And it says on the first day, or the first equation would be 3 senior citizen tickets, and then you want to add one child ticket, so that'd be 1y, and that's going to equal 38. Then on the second day, which would be the second equation, so the school took $52, so I'd set that equal to 52 on the second day, and you sold 3 senior citizen tickets and 2 child tickets. Okay, so now what we got to do is what you can do is you can solve this either by substitution or elimination. And so for this one, I'd probably go with elimination right away, and I would just multiply this top one by -1 so that my 3x turns into -3x. So it'd be -3x and then minus 1y is equal to -38. Okay, so I'm done with this top equation for now, and I know that these are going to cross out. 2y minus 1y is just going to give you y, and then 52 plus -38, or 52 minus 38 is 14. All right, so now I know that y for this child's ticket is going to be $14, so I got to find out again what the x is for the senior citizen ticket. So I'm going to go back to one of these 2 equations, even though I crossed them out. Just make sure you don't cross them out like I do. But I'm just going to use the second one because I can see it better. So it's going to be 3x plus 2 times 14 is equal to 52. And then from there, just do the algebra. All right, so I know that a senior citizen ticket is going to be, make sure your label, $8, and a child is going to be 14. All right, and then for the second one, I'm not going to do all the math for you guys, but we'll just set up the equations. So again, I'm going to just immediately put an x equals and a y equals. And then it says Kristen spent $131 on shirts. Fancy shirts cost $28, so the first thing we see there is fancy shirts, and then plain shirts. Now we need to know, this one is a little bit trickier, but if you look at this, it'll be $28 for every fancy shirt, and then $15 for every plain shirt is going to equal, and then we go back to there, which was $131. Now the second equation is a little bit tricky, so just remember it always is going to give you more information. So if she bought a total of 7, well, we don't know how many fancy shirts or how many plain shirts, but we do know that when you add them together, they equal 7. And then from there, you have your 2 equations right here, and you can solve using substitution or elimination, your choice. I'd probably say substitution looks easier, but that's up to you. All right, feel free to email me. If you need any, if you have any questions or need anything. Otherwise, chapter 4 test tomorrow. Have a good night.